Hey fuckers, Gaming Leatherneck here, playing Modern Warfare Remastered. Today, I'm going to be talking about the most honest opinion of what life is like in the Marine Reserves. And I hope a lot of other reservists can relate to it, and I'm pretty sure a lot of other reservists do relate to it. Because I've talked to my peers about it and how they feel and stuff like that. And I first want to say that being a Marine Reserves is not a bad thing. However, there are a lot of downsides to it. Without further ado, I'm going to get started with my stories and my opinions. Alright, so I am a Marine Reservist, and I'm not going to tell you where I'm stationed at and stuff like that, but I just want to say that it gets hard at times. Not because of shit like, you know, I got to deal with Marine shit. In fact, I think it is hard because I don't get to deal with Marine shit most of the time, and I joined the Marine Corps wanted to deal with Marine shit. So I was on about a year active duty, including boot camp, MCT, and MOS school, and then I finished MOS school, and then I came back to my hometown. I just checked into my unit and stuff like that. And what made it really difficult for me was readjusting back into the civilian world, because literally the day I graduated my MOS school, I went back to civilian world the day I graduated MOS school, and that made it really hard because I was so used to the lifestyle of a fire watch, waking up at maybe 05 in the morning and working till maybe 1700 to 22 depending on the day, and PTing every day. I was so used to that lifestyle, but then when I got back, I realized that wow, I'm actually sleeping in on like a Monday or like a Tuesday or something like that, and I didn't have to check into my unit until my next drill weekend. And I was really not used to the type of lifestyle that I was exposed to right after this whole year of straight active duty crap that I went through. When I came back, I became very, very I would say lost. I would say definitely, yes, lost, and maybe a little bit depressed. And right now, I still do feel a little bit down at times, because you know I don't get to experience what I joined the Marine Corps for, and I joined at such a young age that I absorbed basically everything that the Marine Corps has to give me. It was my first job. If you listen to my other videos, it explains why it was such a big impact on my life. And not only that, I miss the brotherhood. I miss the suck. I miss going through the suck of my brotherhood. You know, a lot of the active duty guys, yeah, you could call me a pogue-ass reservist and stuff like that, but whatever. But for me, it's a big accomplishment, and I wish I could still keep on doing it. And for personal reasons, I wasn't able to sign active duty. I'll explain in another video. However, I miss the camaraderie. I miss the brotherhood. I miss the suck. I miss everything about it. I felt a purpose in my life. Yeah, I was bored out of my fat freaking mind a lot of the times, and still am every time I go on base and have to deal with all the bullshit because there's literally nothing to do on base whenever I go in and check in the drill. But I miss camaraderie. I remember when I was going through towards the end of boot camp where we had to do the crucible. I'm not gonna lie, I struggled at one part because my boots broke. The boots that we were wearing was this Welco's boot that was imported from China. I don't freaking know why. And this is my third time changing those boots out because they kept on breaking on me. The soles kept on coming off, and the front of the boots getting these little pussy lip action going on, and the heel of the boots snapped. There's a little plastic thing in the back where it supports your heel, and it snapped, and it was just cutting into my soles of my feet, so it made the hikes extremely difficult on me. And my buddy, he helped me out through the whole thing. He was the one that stayed back and kind of carried me through, because my feet were literally bleeding from all the blisters I was getting, because one, my boots weren't the right size, and two, my boots were broken, and my pack was broken. It fucking sucked. And I remember I thought he stole my MRE, and I got super pissed at him, and he was willing to give up his food. But at the end of the day, he didn't steal it. It was just me being stupid and tired and angry, and I misplaced it somewhere under my legs, and he still offered to help me find it. He even went through the trash can to help me find it. I mean, that's the little things like that is some of the things that I missed going through when I was in the Marine Corps, on the active side of it. And yeah, people say, why don't you volunteer for deployment, blah blah blah. But my answer to that is, I'm not gonna be a ribbon chaser. I want to deploy with my unit, with my guys, and the people that I've built a relationship with. I didn't join the Marine. I did join the Marine Corps to deploy, but I mostly joined the Marine Corps to have that brotherhood, to have that connection. So I came. So that's one of the reasons why when I came back, it was really hard. Not only that, I had to readjust to civilian life, and after a year of just straight active duty stuff, I can't imagine what 4 years it could be like coming back from civilian to civilian world, because nobody's like you. There's nobody that can relate to you, just especially coming from a liberal state, coming from a non-military city or county, and a more liberal area where military is not really favored in most people's eyes. You can't really find anybody you relate to. You can only find people you relate to whenever I check in for drill. And so that made it really hard, especially going to school where everybody's liberal and you're slightly older than other people, and people are still talking about the same things that you did when you got out of high school. And it's basically the only things that they talk about is just the stupid shit, like doing drugs, weed, alcohol, getting mad drunk, and getting caught by the cops. Like, honestly, like, are you really gonna live like that the rest of your life? No, not really. So there's basically never really anybody to talk to besides the guys in the vet office. So yeah, and this is the reason why it's so hard even now to adjust back into the civilian world. It's been almost a year since I've came back from being on the active side of the Marine Corps. No, I never experienced the active duty side of the fleet, only the reservist side of the fleet. But it's still very hard. And we all know that the beginning of the Marine Corps, from boot camp to MOS school, is always going to be the shittiest part in terms of treatment. Boot camp is just a straight haze fest. MCT just basically a fourth phase of boot camp. MOS school, you're micromanaged like crazy. But once you hit the fleet, it's big boy rules. So just imagine I didn't even get to experience the fleet big boy rule life, and going from being treated like someone's bitch and going back in the civilian world, and the only bonds you had was with your fellow Marines that were treated the same way. So going back to civilian world was very unpleasant. That's what I'm saying. Even now, it's still very hard for me to adjust back in civilian world. It's just, I don't know. I still think differently, and I don't want to give up what I've learned. I don't want to give up my personality to adjust back in civilian world, because I told myself, like, I don't want to go through all that just to go back to how I was before. I'm not willing to give that up. And the Marine Corps has taken good care of me like a little brother. I was youngest Marine, the Marine Corps ball, for 2 years in a row. They took pretty good care of me. They've guided me in the right direction of what I guess a man should be like. Yes, I understand that there's some stupid crap that goes on in there too, BS and unfairness, bullshit, etc. And some people come out with really bad habits. But then I think, honestly, to come out, it takes maturity. Basically, if you look at the Marine Corps, instead of looking at, oh, so much bullshit, stupid, if you look at it in the bigger picture, how you ask yourself, like, how can I keep up my motivation when bullshit happens, or how can I build character when there's like straight extreme boredom, and there's times where you just think deeply. I think the Marine Corps is very good if you approach it in a very mature way. And I feel like not only that, like, I feel like the brotherhood and bonds and experience that you experience inside the Marine Corps takes maturity. I'm not saying I'm super mature or anything. I'm just simply saying that it's how I approached it, and I think it's a good idea that everybody else has approached it this way too. And yes, there are going to be shitty stuff in the Marine Corps, and trust me, there are plenty of things I hate about the Marine Corps too. You know, but you got those active guys who wish they went reservists, and there's also reservists who wish they went active. But I can't deny that, you know, all I remember are the good things, that happened. So I didn't decide, but I naturally carried the habits that I learned inside the Marine Corps back into the civilian world. For example, you know, adapting and overcoming the discipline of PTing, and you know, just sucking it up when it sucked, and not be weak, and not taking shit from other people, and standing up for what you believe is right, and have that willpower to keep on going when things get hard. And this is the reason why it's just so difficult to just readjust. And honestly, I don't really see myself readjusting. Maybe just me being in a liberal state, and I see the stupid shit that goes on, the stupid protesting, for example, protesting naked because they want to go against rape culture. I don't know how that shit works, but none of my business. Or giving fucking turkeys funerals at a grocery store. Now this is the shit that Californians see. Some like it, some don't, and in fact, probably most of them like it. But I'm on the few that don't like it. And coming from the Marine Corps, you see this type of shit, it's retarded. It's stupid, because in your mind you're thinking that these people really have the time to fucking do this type of shit. Like, are you fucking serious? Or you just see people just caring about feeling accepted, or not accepted, but feeling, you know, they have to be dramatic in order to prove a point. You know, like, fuck that. We don't got time for that shit. You know, like, what are you doing with your life? Continue moving on. Just adapt and overcome. Suck it up. Stop being weak. You know, that's the stuff that I brought back from the Marine Corps, and I still live it out. I'm proud of myself for living it out. And it's after the Marine Corps, it's gotten easier. It's gotten much easier to just suck things up. Just say fuck it and do it. I remember in the beginning, I was a big baby. Man, like, shit, I complained and bitched about everything. And yeah, they're just saying that if a Marine ain't bitching, he ain't happy. Marines bitch. Sometimes. But they mostly bitch inside the Marine Corps. But when it comes to civilian world stuff, it becomes a lot easier for them to just go through and push through it, because of the shit, of the suck that they went through. But I have to say that every Marine is different. Every person is different, and every Marine handles stress differently. But I'm just saying, for the most part, from what I've seen, from my unit, from, you know, even the active side of things, Marines handle stress pretty well in terms of going through times that suck. Either by doing some of them do stupid shit, some of them keep themselves distracted, but either way, it can affect you both negatively or positively. But if you look at it in a more of a broader aspect, for the most part, I think it'll help you positively. Anyways, I wish I could talk more, but time is running out. It's already going to 15 minutes into the video. I hope you liked the video. I will tell more about this in the future, and even more stories and even more opinions on stuff. If you liked the video, thumbs up. If you guys didn't, thumbs down. I don't give a fuck. If you guys have any questions on any clarification stuff, if you need me to clarify something, just feel free to ask in the comment section below. I know one of you guys keep asking questions in one of my videos, and you know, I'm trying my best to answer you as fast as possible. But you know, got shit in my life to do. Anyway, stay sharp, be safe, and remember, clip heads and kills. Thanks for watching. Alright.